I just spent nearly 2 weeks traveling around Taiwan for the first time, and I had an amazing time. The entire time I was there, though, there was a question that kept bugging me. Where is everybody else? Almost everywhere I went, I was the only foreigner there. So I asked some of the locals, and I got a few answers. I'm going to share those with you in this episode. What is interesting to me is that I've been here in very touristy places. I got off the plane, I rode high-speed transit, I did all kinds of stuff so far. I've been here for about 48 hours, and I've seen like...
No foreigners almost.
Yeah, like nine foreigners, you know,
Yeah.
like 9 white people, I think. So anyway, why do you think that is, Mike?
It's because the only people who come here to work are to work like used to be shipyards or factory people manufacturing, because in the 70s so many things were made in Taiwan. Otherwise, only English teachers here. And it was never a tourist place. It's not like Thailand.
Which is kind of crazy to me because it's so lovely. I can see 100% why it should be way more popular than it is, but
People just don't know.
people just don't know. All right, 7-Eleven tea egg. Been staring at this thing for a week, and it always looks super gross and not my cup of tea, but I'm gonna do it because I feel like I should know. They have these things just sitting there all day, all night. I don't know how old this egg is. I gotta assume they change them from time to time, but hey, who knows? The eggs stay good a long time. Here we go. 1 tea egg. It's pretty good. That's actually surprisingly good. The tea completely overwhelms the sulfur of the egg. It's nice. It's got like a smoky barbecue-y almost, or like hoisin sauce vibe to it. Nice. I don't think I'd buy that every day, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have. Oh, yeah, no, not really a breakfast food for me. No, thanks. But we're gonna go get some breakfast. A great reason to visit Taiwan is the food. The Western palate is not ready for all the textures you're going to experience in Taiwan. It's an amalgamation of Han Chinese food and Taiwanese island food culture, some indigenous food culture, but a lot of innovations that have come about in the last 50 to 70 years. This food is utilitarian, it's quick, it's easy. This particular meal, 75 cents. I found the food on whole not very spicy in Taiwan at all compared to other Southeast Asian countries. But the texture is sublime, and they play with a lot more subtle flavors than you might encounter elsewhere in Asia. So, why don't people visit Taiwan? Well, the truth is, people are visiting Taiwan. There's a lot of people here. But it's complicated. Things have changed a lot. In the last few years, China's no longer allowing big groups of people to come over here. And so, even though you see a lot of Han Chinese people around me in the hostels and other places I go, most of them are actually local Taiwanese people who are coming from one town to another, visiting their own country. And that literally made up half the people I was traveling beside. There's a lot of Taiwanese people just traveling their own country here. And I've met a lot of them, and like, it's crazy just how many of them speak fluent, spectacular English. I feel so embarrassed not learning more Chinese before I got here. Chinese tourists from the mainland used to make up about a quarter of all travelers in Taiwan. However, in 2019, the Chinese government banned large groups from coming over to Taiwan, and then the pandemic happened and it continued on. They're talking about reopening things, but it's been a real struggle for some of the businesses, like the scuba diving I did. Penny really tailors her business
for those Chinese tourists, and a lot of them come over to do scuba diving because the nature is so beautiful in Taiwan. And without those tourists, those businesses are struggling.
Secondly, to the more tropical minded, maybe visiting a country that's not that warm in February and March seems a little cold. And yeah, it is if you're used to 30 or 40 degrees, but it's currently 18 degrees right now here, and it's like 2 degrees back home. I'm thrilled. Also worth noting is that Taipei here is on the northwestern corner of Taiwan. Some would say the coldest corner of Taiwan. If you go to the southeastern corner, it is significantly warmer. Actually, I found it even warmer on the southwest corner, but either way, it's usually a jump of almost 10 degrees Celsius just from one end of the island to the other. So if you're going to come here in the winter, I'd highly suggest spending most of your time down in the south. Not saying the north doesn't have plenty to see, but pack, a light jacket. And also pack some rain gear, because the weather here is not consistent.
Honestly, I only really ever got rained out while crossing over the mountains, and I've heard that this is pretty typical. The island doesn't get much rain on the coast, but it does get a ton of it up in the mountains, and it being such a small island, it really happens quickly.
So Taiwan, home of beef noodle, bubble tea, king of all scooters. Yeah, you should definitely be coming here. What I can say is you definitely want to pack some good shoes. The public transit is incredibly affordable and incredibly efficient, quick, get around for everywhere. Bus rides are like less than $1. I rode the high-speed train the entire length for $50. It was amazing. And you get on, it's as easy as a subway. But you're gonna want to pack good shoes, because I did so much walking. I packed some really good boots, but I am gonna have to sit on my butt for a bit after this. We're gonna catch an airplane, fly to Tokyo.
I spent 9 days in Taiwan. I think my cheapest accommodation was $7 Canadian a night, and my most expensive was about $48 Canadian. I stayed in hostels and capsule hotels pretty much the entire time.
Sometimes I think I just get out of here in dumb luck. If I actually tried to get somewhere, I always end up going the wrong place. But I got through Tokyo Station on pure vibes. It worked out. Okay, I'm walking around and I can't help but feel like A, this place is so cold compared to Taiwan. B, it's so clean and cold, right? I'm already noticing massive differences between Japan and Taiwan. First of all, it's very quiet here. It is so quiet. Without 10 billion scooters running around everywhere, yeah, it's hella quiet. The most loud noise from the cars is the tire noise, because they're going decently quick. And all of the chimes on doors and stuff like that. Oh, there you go. The scooter just passed. So yeah, I think Taiwan should be on everyone's list, man. It's highly underrepresented in all the backpackers and travelers that I'm used to hearing from and seeing from on social media. And I think that should change, because it is an amazing country to visit. I had an absolutely spectacular time. I met nothing but the most welcoming, open-hearted people who were willing to try out their limited English on me. And the food was so affordable, the travel was affordable, the accommodations were affordable, the experiences I did were affordable. And it's not for lack of quality, it was all spectacular. The Shinkansen, super fast. Yeah, I don't know. Thrilled. I can't wait for this next chapter. It's gonna be fun. All right, guys, see you next week.